One thing that few have talked about in connection with the Fulton County indictment of Donald Trump was that despite charging 18 co-conspirators, District Attorney Fani Willis potentially let a big fish off the hook thanks to a completely unforced error that even left the presiding judge in the case scratching his head. Willis was not allowed to bring a case against Burt Jones, Georgia's lieutenant governor. Jones, who was a state senator back in 2020, was at the forefront of the effort to overturn the election in Georgia. He pushed for a special session of Georgia's legislature to convene and reverse the election results. He was also one of the 16 so-called fake electors who falsely claimed that Donald Trump won. And if it were up to Fani Willis, she almost certainly would have brought a case against Jones as well. But last summer, Willis was ordered by a Fulton County judge to drop Jones from the case due to a conflict of interest stemming from a fundraiser she hosted for Jones's Democratic opponent, Charlie Bailey. Fulton Superior Court Judge Robert McBurney slammed Willis over what he called the horrible optics and called the whole affair a "what are you thinking" moment. By her account, Fani Willis had already been investigating for a year and a half when she decided, you know what, I'm going to host a fundraiser for the political opponent of one of the key targets of the investigation. Gave Burt Jones all the ammo he needed to credibly fire back at Fani Willis, which he did again this morning on Newsmax.
This is an investigation that she's used as a political advancement. It has nothing to do with justice. It is all politically motivated, and we challenge that in the Fulton County Court. Is her political motivation? She was holding fundraisers for my Democratic opponent back when I was running for lieutenant governor. I mean, she's been very partisan DA, and we challenged it. We won our challenge.
Burt Jones may have gotten a temporary reprieve. Now a state agency is appointing a special prosecutor to investigate the lieutenant governor. That person will ultimately decide whether to bring a case against Jones to the grand jury. Might face charges, might not. But there's no doubt that Fani Willis sent a gift-wrapped present to Jones and her critics. Joining us is one of those critics, John Malcolm. He served as an assistant United States attorney for the Northern District of Georgia. He's now with the Heritage Foundation. John, thanks for coming back on the show. Appreciate it. This is a sort of hard to believe moment, right? That a prosecutor would be this sloppy.
Yes, it was a phenomenally stupid thing for her to do. So there were 16. I refer to them as contingent electors. Others have referred to them as fake electors. There were lawsuits pending at the time in Georgia, and 16 of them showed up and said that they were there to vote for Donald Trump as contingent electors. 12 of them received immunity. 3 of them had been indicted. And Burt Jones, because she had hosted this fundraiser for his political opponent, was recused by Robert McBurney, the Fulton County Superior Court judge. He's referred to, by the way, Burt Jones, in the indictment. He's unindicted co-conspirator number 8. But now there's a prosecuting attorneys council in Georgia. It's headed by Pete Scandalakis, himself a former prosecutor. And he said that he's going to appoint a special prosecutor to look into Burt Jones. He said that he's going to speak to Willis about what you found in her investigation. I think that could be a problem since she was recused from doing anything. The other defendants, in fact, have argued that her entire office should have been disqualified as a result of this conflict. And I'm sure they're going to raise that now that they have been indicted. There are 49 other district attorneys in Georgia. He doesn't even have to appoint one of those as long as he appoints somebody with prosecutorial experience. But that's what's going to happen.
So if you were representing Jones, would you be saying to him, I think it's likely you're going to get indicted based on the totality of the circumstances, or not?
No, I wouldn't assume that he's going to get indicted. It certainly poses some legal peril for him. He is the lieutenant governor. He's certainly going to be a front runner to be the gubernatorial candidate in 2026. Again, I think that this is a stretch to go after these, what I refer to as contingent electors, but that will now be decided by another prosecutor who may take a fresh look at all.
And really quickly, how does that prosecutor get appointed? I mean, are there any political considerations as to who's making the choices, et cetera?
Well, I assume it's being done by the council. I don't know whether Pete Scandalakis, the executive director, is the deciding factor or whether there's a group of people he needs to consult. But he's going to have to reach out to somebody who will want to take the job and will, take a fresh look at things. I personally think that if you're going to take a fresh look, you should not look at what Fani Willis did, since she was recused. But that prosecutor will do whatever he or she wants to do, and then will ultimately make a decision about whether to charge and what to charge.
John Malcolm, good to see you. Thanks for coming back. Coming up, thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.